Welcome to MDL Crochet for this tutorial on the Bethlehem baby blanket. I did use a 3-weight yarn, roughly 1,710 yards or 1,563 meters, and it is a 206 chain. It measures 39 inches wide or 99 centimeters or 44 inches high or 109 centimeters. There is a repeat. That is 4 rows. You will do 42 repeats for the length of this blanket. It is a gorgeous lightweight blanket, and it is perfect for that newborn in your life. And this tutorial is time-stamped in the descriptions box with all other information that is needed for this pattern. If you can remember to hit that like and subscribe, it'd be greatly appreciated, and leave me a comment. I will chit-chat with you. And with all that being said, let's get to this tutorial. So I've already pulled up my chain, and my chain is 22. Which is 8 plus 8 plus 6. So with Tunisian Crochet, we need to pull up our foundation row in the back of the chain. Well, in the back of the chain, you have these back bumps. That's where we're going to be working our needle into to pull up our loops. And you go from the second chain from your hook. 1 on your hook does not count, so that's chain 1. There's chain 2. You roll over, and you'll see the back bump. Put your needle through and pull up your loop. And you're going to do that all the way down the chain. So now that you've counted and you have all your loops on your hook, you're going to do a standard return pass. And for a standard return pass, you're going to yarn over and chain 1. And then you're going to yarn over and pull through 2. You're going to repeat that yarn over and pull through 2 all the way down to the end until you only have 1 loop left on your hook. So now we have our foundation row done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a row of knit stitches. And if you don't know how to do a knit stitch, how we're going to end up doing a knit stitch is you're going to take your needle and you're going to go, here's your front bar. And then you have your back bar back here. And for a knit stitch, you're going to angle through the 2 bars towards the back. Just like this. So we're going to do a knit stitch. And you're just going to angle. So you're splitting the 2 bars. So you're going like through here and then you're going through. And that's how you're going to do it. So you're going to pull up a row of knit stitches. And this is starting our knotted ridge. So go ahead and pull up your row of knit stitches and do a standard return pass. Now to start your return pass, you need to do your end stitch. And to find your end stitch, the easiest way is to back your needle up just a little bit. Drop down to the row you just closed off, fold over your end, and your needle is going to go where it needs to go 99.9% of the time. Then you're going to yarn over and pull up your loop. And then you can start your standard return pass, which is a chain 1. And then you're going to yarn over and pull through 2. You're going to repeat that yarn over, pull through 2 till you only have that 1 loop left on your hook. So for the next row of our knotted ridge pattern, we'll be doing 2 rows of purl stitches. A purl is you take your yarn in front of your needle, then you're going to go to the loop, put your needle through the loop, drop your yarn, wrap it around your needle, then yarn over and pull up that loop. And let's do it one more time. Yarn goes in front, back to your loop, and then go through your loop, drop your yarn, wrap it around, and then do a normal yarn over and pull up your loop. That is a purl. And if you don't know how to do a purl, I will also be putting the link for the purl stitch right here for you. So go ahead and pull up all your purls, and I'll meet you at the end. And we'll do our end stitch and return pass. So now we're at the end. And we're just going to do your normal end stitch and then a normal return pass. So you'll just back your needle back just a little bit, rotate your needle to the row you just closed off, fold your work onto your needle, and slide right on through, yarn over it and pull up your loop, and then chain 1, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2 all the way down to the end, and that is a standard return pass. And we'll do one more row of purl stitches. So now that we have our 2 rows of purl done, we're going to do a row of knit stitch, but don't do the return pass because the return pass is going to be different for this row. So go ahead and pull up your knit stitches, and I will meet you when we get ready to start the return pass. Alright, so now we're at our end stitch. You're going to pull up your end stitch like we normally do. Now this return pass is where we're going to change up just for this return pass, because this is the part of the knotted ridge, and the stitch we're going to be doing now is called the Afghan knot. And if you do not know how to do the Afghan knot, I'll be putting the link for it right here. But the Afghan knot is done on the return pass. We need to knock 2 loops off of our needle. So we're going to yarn over, chain 1, that's 1 loop gone. Yarn over and pull through 2. Now we got 2 loops off of our hook. Now we chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. We're knocking 2 off each time, and then we're chaining 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. And chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. So you can see the sequence we're doing. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 3, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That is the sequence all the way down to the end. So I'm going to continue doing this, and we will get down to the end. So now we're going to start with a row of knit stitches. So you're going to go through and just do a knit stitch on your forward loops, and then right here behind these chains that we made, we're going to go behind it and then work our needle through the gap and do a knit stitch in that side stitch right there, because that side stitch is pushing this chain forward and it's creating the bubble. So we're going to go in front, do a knit, and then we're going to take our needle, go behind that chain, push it forward, and work ourselves into that vertical bars right there, and then yarn over and do a knit in that, so that way it pushes it forward. And then go to the next vertical bar in front, do a knit stitch, and then again push it forward, and do a knit stitch in that vertical bar, and again right in front, and then take your needle again, go behind that chain and into that vertical, the 2 vertical bars, splitting them and doing a knit stitch there. You'll do that all the way down, and that's what it should look like, because the return pass is the same. It's a standard return pass. So once you get down, do your end stitch, do your standard return pass, and I will meet you right after we get done for the next part of this knotted ridge pattern. So once you're done with your return pass from your Afghan knot, you'll be doing 2 rows of purl stitch again. So go ahead and do 2 rows of purl stitch with the standard return pass, and then I will meet you for the next part of this pattern. So once you have your return pass done for your last row of purl, which you should have done too, you're going to do a row of nothing but knit stitch again. So go ahead and do a row of knit stitch, do the standard return pass, and then we're actually going to get into the pattern for the Bethlehem blanket. This is the knotted ridge, and we're about to start the main pattern for the blanket. So go ahead and pull up your knit stitches and do your standard return pass, and I'll meet you once our row of knit stitches are done. Alright, for the next part of this pattern, we're going to end up doing 6 simple stitches. Now this starts our repeat for this row. This is a 4-row repeat, so this is row 1 repeat. So you're going to pull up your 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now what we're going to do is you're going to yarn over, and we're going to simple stitch 2 together, and then we're going to repeat the 6. Another 6 simple stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to yarn over and simple stitch 2 together. Now we're yarning over because we're simple stitching 2 together, but we're yarning over because we're subtracting 1 stitch here. So we got to add that stitch back. And that is the repeat again. 6 simple stitches, a yarn over, and simple stitch 2 together. And then you can just complete all the way down to the end. Just repeat your pattern for that row. And again, this is a repeat of 8. But this is the first row of the repeat. So it is 6 simple stitches and a yarn over and simple stitch through 2. And then when you get to the end, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you got your 6. And then you just do a standard return pass. So chain 1, yarn over and pull through 2. And then watch out when you get to your yarn overs, so that way your needle does not slide through your yarn over. So now we're on to row 2 of the 4-row repeat. However, the first 4 stitches we do are not part of the repeat. So let's go ahead and pull up our first 4 simple stitches. 2, 3, and 4. So you'll have 5 total loops on your hook. Now what we're going to do is this starts our repeat. So you'll simple stitch 2 together, pull up, and we got to bring that one back, so we need to yarn over. And then here, where we have our gap from our yarn over from below, you're going to do a full stitch. So you'll do a full stitch. The full stitch counts for that yarn over. And then we're going to do another yarn over, and then we're going to simple stitch 2 together. So we're going to take our yarn over, and then we're going to go through that vertical bar and another vertical bar. We're simple stitching 2 together. And then it is 3 simple stitches. So 1, 2, simple stitch 2 together, yarn over for this row. That starts our repeat. So we'll simple stitch 2 together, yarn over, do a full stitch, counts for that yarn over right there on the prior row, and then we're going to yarn over, go through this bar, and go through another one, simple stitching 2 together. That is our repeat for this row. So then we would do 3 simple stitches, and then we would continue. But since we're not near the end, we just go ahead and pull up our simple stitch and do our standard return pass. All right, now we're finishing up the return pass. Now we're on to row 3 of the 4-row repeat. The first 3 simple stitches do not count as the pattern, nor does the first simple stitch 2 together. This stitch here we're doing right now does not count as the repeat. However, our repeat starts with this full stitch that we're doing right now. We're pulling up a full stitch, counts as that yarn over right there, and then we're going to do a simple stitch, another full stitch. As you can see the gaps, there's that yarn over that we're counting for. Then we're going to yarn over, simple stitch 2 together, simple stitch, simple stitch 2 together, yarn over. That ended our repeat, so we'll do the repeat and a full stitch. It starts with this full. We'll do a simple stitch, full stitch, a yarn over, and simple stitch 2 together, and then a simple stitch, and then you would repeat. But we're right here. We have 2 left. We can go ahead and continue our little pattern. So that's simple stitch 2 together, and then yarn over and do your end stitch, and then do your standard return pass. So chain 1, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 all the way down to the end. So I'm pulling through the last 2 loops right now, and now we're on to row 4 of the 4-row repeat. However, I will denote where the repeat will start. So we need to pull up the very first edge you're doing on this row has to be the same. So simple stitch, simple stitch, then we're stitching 2 together, simple stitching 2 together, yarn over, and then doing a full stitch. Now this is where the repeat will start. 3 simple stitches, 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll do a full stitch, which counts for this yarn over. Now this is where we're going to do a little something different. We're going to yarn over, and we're going to go through 3 together. So 1, 2, and 3, yarn over and pull up that loop, and then yarn over again. Now that yarn over counts as this loop, this one counts as that loop, and this yarn over counts as our last loop. And then we're going to do a full stitch right away, and then a simple stitch. That is the repeat. 3 simple stitches, a full stitch, simple yarn over, simple stitch 3 together, and then yarn over and do a full stitch and a simple stitch. Again, that's one simple stitch, 2 simple stitch, 3 simple stitch, a full stitch, a yarn over, simple stitch 3 together, 1, 2, and 3, yarn over, pull up your loop, and then yarn over, and then do a full stitch, which counts as that yarn over, and go ahead and do your close off or continue with your pattern. And then you'll yarn over and do a standard return pass. So chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, repeating that step all the way down to the end until you only have that 1 loop left on your hook. So you can see the pattern that the stitch is making. It's called the lace wave. Now once you're done and you want to close it off, we're going to close it off with another knotted ridge. So we're going to do a row of simple stitches all the way down, and those simple stitches are going to help us get those yarn overs So you can pull them up, and we'll do a row of simple stitches all the way down and do a standard return pass, and then we'll come back and do the next row of the knotted ridge, the first row of the knotted ridge. So now that you have all your simple stitches pulled up, you're going to do a row of knit stitch all the way down and do a standard return pass. So now that you have your row of knit stitch done, you're going to do 2 rows of purl stitches. Do 2 rows of purl with the complete return pass, and I will be back with you once these are done. So now that we have our 2 rows of purl done, now we're going to do a row of knit. But remember, the return pass for this row is going to be different. So go ahead and pull up your knit, and I will meet you at the end of this row for the return pass. Okay, so the return pass for this row of knit is a chain 1, then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2. Then we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That is the sequence right there. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. You're going to do that all the way down till you only have that one loop left on your hook. And I will meet you at the end of this return pass. Alright, so I'm finishing the last chain 3 and yarn over and pull through 2. So the next part of this is we're just going to do knit stitches. So that you'll do a knit stitch in the front one, and then you'll take your needle, push the chain forward, and you can see this 2 vertical bars there. You're going to knit stitch that vertical bar and pull it up, because that's pushing your Afghan knot, which is the chain 3, forward. And then you're going to go in front of, again at the end of the, or the beginning, or whatever you want to call it, of the chain, do a regular knit stitch, and then take your needle behind the chain, push it forward, and go into those vertical bars as a knit stitch. And you're going to do that all the way down and do a standard return pass, and I will meet you as soon as we get done with the standard return pass. Alright, I'm finishing up my return pass now. So we did our knit stitches and we have our Afghan knots forward. So you're going to do 2 rows of purl. So just go ahead and do two rows of purl with the standard return pass, and we will come back and finish this project off. So the last bit of this pattern is our close off row. We're going to do a knit stitch close off. So you just go to a knit, pull up your knit, and just slip it off. And you're going to do that all the way down. Do your end stitch and leave yourself a decent tail to weave in, and you will be done. And the reason why we're using a knit stitch close off, because the knit stitch helps accentuate the knotted ridge. It helps the knotted ridge stick out. And then the rest of the pattern is recessed and the knotted ridge is raised. So continue with your knit stitch close off, which is again a knit stitch, and just slip it off. You're only keeping 1 loop on your hook, and you'll do that all the way down to the end. Weave in your ends, and you will be done with your Bethlehem blanket. And thank you for joining me for this tutorial. And remember, folks, and as always, keep stitching.